stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning on this Wednesday. Happy Sober Wednesday. And sober or trudging doesn't work with that. We'll see how this one goes. I've pretty much been crying the last half hour. It just came out of nowhere. Well, it didn't come out of nowhere. Watching a video, and this guy, he hit it right on the head. He hit it right on the head for me, man. Morning, Angel. Good morning, Michelle. Good to see you both. I'm going to give you a little snippet of what my life is like, right? So, still dealing with this too. That still hurts. There's an infection. It's not a dry socket. I wouldn't be able to sit here and do this if I had a dry socket. Yeah. All right. So I called the dentist. And of course, they're going to want me to come in. And so I let them know, hey, I have PTSD. I have anxiety. My wife is not here. Is there any way you can just send me an order for not amoxicillin, but I'm allergic to amoxicillin. Hi, Heather. Good to see you. And she's like, well, we don't usually do it that way. They want to see you. And I'm like, I understand. I do. If that's what the dentist or the doctor wants me to do, we'll follow his orders. Yeah, they didn't even bother calling me back. They just filled the script. Right? Why is that? Is it because I'm Dion? It's because God works in my life. Because God knows that I need that. Because he has my back. That's why that stuff happens to me. And I was nice. It's okay to advocate a little bit for yourself. And I was honest with them. Absolutely, I was. I told them I have a car, I have a license, I even have the time to come down there, but it's going to be very, very hard for me to do. And now if I was begging for pain pills, I could understand that, but I wasn't. One of my advocating, one of the things I said was, it's not like I can abuse antibiotics because I don't even know if you can. I'm not even bothered to look. I don't know why you'd want to. All right, but welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm going to be your host today. If I can ever find any time to focus on things, maybe we'll have more people on. If you want to come on, you're always more than welcome to. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching live or the rewatch. If you do want to come on, just let me know. Well, we'll pick some topics, or maybe we won't even pick a topic. We'll just go live by the seat of our pants and pick something as we go along, or for me, it's just I do it all the time, so no big deal. Today we're talking about anger, the mask of pain. This is coming up. I'm going to tell you a few things. There's a man in my life. Okay, I'm going to start with the man that raised me, because this is the main thing that he's the main person that caused my PTSD. And he abused me. I've been abused a lot. And it's why it's in direct correlation with my anger. It is. You want to know the one thing that'll piss me off quicker than anything else? Make me feel stupid. I will rip you a new ass. Make me feel stupid in front of other people. Yeah. That will set me off quick. Why? Because I was called stupid my whole life. Because I was called dumb. was called retarded by my family. And I'm still angry. I'm hurt. Right? Now, believe it or not, emotionally, I am feeling a little bit better today. Right? Yeah. It's probably because I did a half hour crying. I don't know. And I might get weepy again. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. Right? But I'm using this anger to mask my pain. That's most of what it is. And what is the pain? These people hurt me. I want vengeance. I want justice. I had to stand up to my shit. I was forced. It was either, Dion, you stand up to your stuff and you do this, or you're dead. Those were my options. Why are their options not that way? How come their life gets to be so much easier than mine? Why is that? Nobody else in my family came out with PTSD. Well, maybe they probably did, and I don't know about it. Why was I so different? Even growing up, I was different. Different. Everywhere I go, I'm different. Even when I call the dentist, I'm treated differently. Even I know, even though that was a good thing. But what I see is difference. And what it does, it sets me aside. Okay. Now, here is where this is where anger and pain can keep you sick. It's the anger. So the man that raised me, I don't want to call him my stepdad because he didn't even earn that title. Not in my book. And I have a stepdad and I love him. So I don't want those to be combined. All right. Morning, Amber. So what happens is he did something to me, right? And I developed pain and anger over this, of which I started to take out on other people, including him. And then he would go back and now he's not even around, but yet that pain and that anger continues to cycle. And this is where I'm at with it. This isn't a let go, let God situation. This isn't a resentment. So if you tell me to do a 4-step about it, I'm going to put my foot up your ass. All right. So I don't think I've swore yet. Ass isn't a swear word. All right. Just got to go through this doesn't mean I can't be happy here and there. All right. That and I listen to my sad songs. So the first song I played was Lean on Me by Bill Withers. Great song. All right. Then it was A Great Big World, Say Something. Great song. Beautiful by Christina Aguilera. Yes, these are the sad songs. Everybody Hurts by REM. And there's another special one that I listen to. Okay. So anyway, those are my sets of sad songs that I use to kind of let me feel my feels. Right? Because this isn't a situation. This shit needs to be confronted. And more than anything, I'm going to tell you what I want. I want to take the man by the throat and shove him through a fucking wall. I want to get physically violent. Why? Because that is how he showed it to me. I want to go to his house, pull out a belt, and just beat the fuck out of him with it. I do. My older brother, I feel the same way. Yeah, I do. There's pain. I'm not totally sure how to get out of this. Accepting it didn't work. Forgiving didn't work. Therapy's working. I'm making progress there. You know, my therapist is really good about bringing this stuff up to me, and that doesn't feel so confrontational and in my face. She's really good at that. And I notice she does it. I'm in therapy too long to not know what they're doing. Right? But that's what's good about therapy. The things I don't remember, she does. And she also knows I want to get past this. I want to be better. What scares me is that I might do it. Given the chance, I might do it. See, there's parts of Dion my family hasn't met, and it's the very dangerous Dion because whenever I'm around there, I hold it back. I'm a lot more rough than the rest of my family. I'm a lot more thick-skinned. I've been through more. Right? Here I am at 54 dealing with things that went on when I was a teenager and younger. Now, these things did happen, but I continue to mask my pain with anger. It's the go-to. And why is that? Because, number one, it's socially acceptable. It is more socially acceptable for a man to get angry than it is for him to cry. That's why. Because you would prefer my anger over my crying, which I don't understand. Because my anger is pretty fucking... Yeah. Amber Angel says, thank you for keeping it real. You're absolutely welcome. Amber says, I told my therapist yesterday, now I get to tell my friends I'm doing DBT. All the T's. I don't get to say that word anymore. So quit. Do not put swear words in the chat for me to repeat. I'm kidding. If you want to swear there, go for it. But I'm going to do my best not to repeat it. I'm working on some things. Swearing is kind of one of them. I'm cutting back more. I used to swear even more than this. Right. So, but yeah, now she's doing all the fracking T's. That's funny. In other words, CBT, DBT, EMT. All right. I was trying to think of a drug that was three letters that would fit a drug, but I couldn't think of it. Amber's over here literally swearing. Balls is not a swear word. All right. That's why you used to play games. All sorts of games. All right. This is exactly why this channel is not safe for children. All right. Because we say things like balls and frack. All right. Well, how are we going to get out of this? Professional help is the answer. It is. AA is not going to take care of these things. Okay. And it says it. It says it in the big book. It does. It says that there's going to be things that aren't dealt with here, and you need outside help. Bill needed outside help. Bob needed outside help. The original 100, they needed outside help. I need outside help. Okay. Yesterday, my therapist and I were talking, and, she's in therapy. She was talking about her therapist, and I told her, one of the first questions I asked you 3 years ago, maybe a bit 4 now, 3 years ago was, do you have a therapist? And I picked you because you had a therapist. Because there's no way in hell that a therapist can do their job without therapy themselves. It's too hard. They need their own support system. If they don't have their own support system, how are they going to teach me how to have a support system? I'm very good at picking therapists for me. I'm very good at matching people, actually. I'd be a great dating site. Right? Check this out. Okay. Oh my, I can't believe this. Okay. So they're like, hey, we are a sober community. Right? That's how they brought it. That's how they represented it. And I went and looked at it because I like that. I'm like, okay, so this Sober Meat platform where, where peers can get together. Okay, so they have a sober connection, but what is it? therapy, counseling, sober dating. Let's go read out. Okay, let's see what their support groups are. Support groups. Oh, they have AA, Smart Recovery. So they did something right. But this is just a dating site, right? So if you go to here, resources, where was it? About us, sober connections. Look at this. Okay, so we have Charles Harris. Welcome to, and he started it most likely. Hey, look at me. I was such a great. But look at these pictures. Do these look like recovery coaches to you? Or do these look like women who are wanting to date, who are available just down the street for you to hook up with at the present moment? That is wow. Okay. There's my anger again. And guess what? Amber says, and guess what? Going outside helps. I go outside all the time. I'm in my backyard a good portion of the day. Okay. Yeah, it does. You know, and I'm going through this stuff too. I'm still going to do the 2:00 meeting today. I don't want to. I don't. But I'm going to. I'm going to power through that. I'm in pain and stuff. But I've made a decision. If nobody shows up, and if nobody else shows up to the in-person meeting, I'm done with it. I'm not doing it anymore. It's one of the things that's kind of getting to me. I don't feel like I'm getting the support that I need. And that just has to do with my other stuff going on, because it's not totally true. All right. So see how that leads back to the insanity, that circle. See? And then what happens is other things happen and it gets fed. You know, I spend half my day thinking about what my life used to be like. I can't help myself. I get triggered everywhere I go. And I have to be responsible for my triggers, right? So at this moment, do I have a right to confront this man? Because I feel I do. I'm not talking a ninth step. I'm talking, this is what you fucking did to me. And you need to take responsibility for it, just like I had to take responsibility for the fact that I hurt my children too. Now, can I blame that part on him? No, that is on me. But why should I feel guilty for confronting my abuser? I shouldn't. I shouldn't feel blame. I shouldn't feel shame. But here I am at 54, still trying to get this man's fucking attention, and I don't know why. I don't know why, and it frustrates me. And I don't do things like, oh, I'm going to do this and Wendell will be proud of me. That never ever goes through my head anymore. But there is a part of me that's subconsciously doing this. That I want to do something bigger and better than the rest of my family so I can go, fuck you. See what I can do? Fuck you. You were wrong. You were wrong about me. And those intentions aren't going to work, are they? Those intentions aren't going to work. It's just another form of what Dion thinks is justice. Okay? Me getting well can't be revenge. No. I can't wish bad karma on people. Well, karma will take care of them. Even that. No, I can't. Well, God will take care of that. No, I'm not going there. I can't. That is wishing something bad on someone. I don't want his life to be worse. I don't. But I need my life to get better. And these people will not sit down and talk about anything. They will not confront anything. Well, actually, that's not true. I will give him this. He went to therapy for like 5 years for his anger. He should still be in therapy. He has a huge codependency problem. Now, these people, you know, the way I see it is this man and my older brother, what was their job? It was their job to fucking protect me. And they didn't do that. They were my abusers. I'll give you a great, one of the reasons why I am still fucking mad at my brother. And I'm angry at him. I do not have a resentment. It's weird. Okay. Think of it as intrusive thoughts. Because if I was to take what I feel about him and put it to the side, he's a good guy. He goes Catholic church, the type of jobs he has, like Habitat for Humanity. He has helped a lot of fucking people. He has. I can't deny that. But where was that when it came to me? He's more willing to get he's willing to give more grace to complete strangers than his own brother. He will sit down and have hard conversations about everybody else's life except what is going on in his. He has a master's in psychology and says things like, Dion, I don't understand why you continue to hurt the family the way that you are. Okay. So, my name's Dion. Rhymes with peon. I was a bedwetter till I was 11. And my brother made sure that people called me Peon Dion for a good chunk of my life. In fact, he started it. How's that for protection? And it was weird because, you know, he was the one that, according to the dysfunctional family, he was the one that was supposed to be taking care of the children. I was doing that. He was never there. You know, he didn't cook. He didn't help them with that. I did all that. And I never got the credit due for it. Instead, they gave it to him. Every time something went wrong in the house, it was my fault. Even if it wasn't. I took the blame for my brother several times. In fact, there were times when people threatened my older brothers, and I took care of it, the younger brother. Then, when I went into lockup, my older brother spread a shit ton of rumors about me. A shit ton. I didn't need any help ruining my reputation. I already had that. And everybody started to fear me. He started to make shit up of stuff that I did. That I never did. Making me out to be a fucking criminal. Okay. Now here's the thing. Before I was 14, I hadn't done anything illegal. I had not done anything that deserved being put away for. I didn't. And when now I would have to say that I needed some of those group homes and stuff to straighten my shit out. I would have to agree with that. But there was one point when I should have gone home. I was getting straight A's in school. I was doing everything picture perfect. I finally had it. I was feeling good about myself. And I even told him, I think I'm ready. I'm ready to follow the rules, do what you ask, and I'm going to follow your rules and what you want me to do. I'll go back to school. If you want me to give a part-time job, I will do that. Instead, and I was in a place called Gemini Shelter, and I was level 3. It means I got an hour of freedom each day. I was a mentor. I got weekend passes, and I earned these things. I earned them. And then suddenly they wanted to stick me in a place called Adolescent Family Institute of Colorado. And everything I fucking earned was gone. And if they would have listened to me at that point, every time I was honest with them, they did the opposite of what needed to be done. And I'm angry about that. And before I go into Adolescent Family Institute of Colorado, my mom starts a fight with the owner. I'm the one that had to deal with that. You know how much flack I got for that? And there's a whole story behind AFIC. There's a whole story. It's kind of a long story. Okay. Oh, I made them pay dearly. Everybody paid for that one. Yeah. You want to hear the story? Do you guys want to hear the story? You want to hear it? All right. Let's do it. I'm just fucking running my mouth at this point. We'll get to some solutions here. Maybe. We'll see. All right. I don't know. So I'm in Adolescent Family Institute of Colorado, right? They took away all my freedom. The first night I tried to run. Oh, yeah. And they caught me. I'll try and make this story as short as possible. But it is kind of an adventurous story. So the next day they take all my clothes and they put a shirt on me. It says property of AFIC. And then they try and make it worse with guilt. And they say, yeah, Dion, everybody else is going to go play football, but you don't get to. I'm like, I don't even know any of you. What the fuck do I care? What do I care? Oh, no, I don't get to go play football with all the other kids. Oh, my, no. What am I ever going to do? right? And they put me to work. But what they didn't do was supervise me. Weird. That's because they were all off playing football. The place was a little too lack. Well, I found my stuff. And what I was going to do is just grab my stuff and leave. But then I saw the board. I saw a board. It was an activities board. And in about 3 weeks, we were going White River rafting. Actually, it's about a month away, right? Everybody wants story. So, hey, Nomadic, good to see you, wizard. I love wizards. I'm a wizard. All right. And I see that we're going White River rafting. And there's this note, remind parents to bring sleeping bags and tents. And I'm like, they're forming my perfect getaway here. Not only that, but I wanted to go White River rafting. I'm like, if I'm going to put up with this shit, at least I get to go do something. So I became the epitome. I became the Boy Scout. I knew how to play this game. I'd already been playing it for years. I'd been to the top therapists in the country or in the state. Okay? And not even they wanted anything to do with me because I would go there. I'd be like, I'm not going to do or say anything. I am unwilling to take your help. That was 15. I already knew how to play. So I became the Boy Scout. I started, doing stuff in group, and I just joined in, did my homework. Oh, you need trash out. I'd be a little, not overly helpful, but a little extra helpful. Oh, do you need that done? Yeah, I'll get it for you. Hey, you guys, let's get this taken care of. And I became a leader. This was natural for me. I usually took over whatever group home I was in. I didn't mean to, but I was usually pod father. Okay. And so we go White River rafting. I had a blast. Right. I tried to get a hold of some alcohol to take with us, but I couldn't get any. Well, it would have been more fun. So we come back, right? 4th of July. This is my escape date. 4th of July. Why? Because number one, compounded confusion. There's stuff going on. We're doing special stuff today, doing our own barbecue. People are relaxed. And I know this because everything's running smoothly because I'm making sure everything's running smoothly. Because what happens when you do that? Well, staff lets down their guard. So right before we go swimming, I had convinced this other person to run with me because I knew if we got caught and he said, yeah, Dion made me run with him, they wouldn't take me back. So I did that on purpose. Right. So everybody went downstairs and we were in a separate building and the back of our building was a main street, Kipling. Right. And so we went to the bathroom. We took the screen out and we shoved our sleeping bags and everything that we were going to need outside the window. And I threw a blanket out there. The blanket will come in handy. Okay. Why? Because it's a barbed wire fence. Okay. So we go down, we do the barbecue. I eat a shit ton of cantaloupe because I know I'm not going to be eating for a little bit. And then it's chore time. We're winding down. Right. Winding down. It's about 7:00. Sun's still out. And I had signed up for garbage duty. And I did because nobody ever took garbage duty. Well, garbage duty, the garbage can was right next to the building where our stuff was. There was a lot of trash. Hey, dude, can you help me with this? Yeah, I'll help you out. See, being more helpful. I've been asking people to help me out for weeks now. We take out the trash. We go around the building. I take the blanket and I throw it over the barbed wire fence. We hop the fence and we're gone. Okay. We're about 3/4 of the way through the story. This story is not over with. All right. I was on the run for 4 months. Oh, I'm sure my mom was worried, but she didn't need to worry because see what everybody didn't. So I slept about a month in a park, a couple weeks in somebody's closet. By this time, my other friend had gotten caught because he was a dumbass. He's like, I'm going to go back to Golden. I'm like, bye. See ya. But um, I was sleeping in my own bed in my bedroom. See, my room was down in the basement. And I'd wait for my brother to stop watching Letterman and go to bed. I'd sneak in through the kitchen window, okay, because it didn't have a screen on it. So I used that window. I'd go downstairs and I would sleep in my bed. I was showering and eating there too, and nobody knew. Nobody knew I was there. That's part of the story. Sooner or later, I get caught, blah, 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 blah. All right. Now I'm 30 years old. I'm a phone technician. Okay. And I used to put in these big phone switches, do the programming, all this other stuff. And that's when I was a Microsoft engineer. And I get a ticket for the Legend system, and it's at Adolescent Family Institute of Colorado. Same place I ran from. I'm like, oh, no way. No way. It's like I'm still looking forward to going to this one. I am. I did. I fixed their phone. Wasn't that big of a deal. Just had to run another wire and things like that. I got done. So I walk in, and there's this lady up front, and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Dion," and she's kind of looking at me. I'm like, "I'm with Teleco the Rockies. I'm here to fix your phone." Now, when I was at Adolescent Family Institute of Colorado, my last name was Bates. My last name is Miller. I don't know why they made me use Bates when my actual last name was Miller. But anyway. So I'm talking to her, and I said, I used to be a client here. And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah. My last name is Miller, but back then I was Dion Bates. And she goes, you're Dion? This was 15 years later. 15 years later. This is when I found out they didn't know that I was gone for over 2 hours. 2 hours. That's how much trust they had in me. They had to change rules. They had to change everything that they did because I pulled the wool over their eyes. And they remembered who I was. They're like, you're the infamous Dion. Oh, we know all about you. And there's your story. See? Don't fuck with me. I will do, and don't say I don't have any patience. I will sit around years for revenge. And that's part of it. Okay. So we had fun with the story. Let's get back to this. So we use anger to mask pain by expressing anger instead of vulnerable feelings like hurt, fear, sadness, or shame. It's hard being vulnerable because you can be attacked from any angle. When you leave yourself open, it's like it'd be like me being a rabbit in the middle of a field where they practice training falcons. Pretty vulnerable, huh? You're open to attack. But we have something to help us with that, and his name is God. God's the one that helps me give me the courage to do the things I'm doing. The only reason I'm doing the 2:00 meeting today is because of the courage of God. Because I know he will give me the courage to do it. I know he will. Because my intentions are good. Right? And that makes me feel a little bit better. Right? And I'm a very vulnerable person. Now, I'd rather use transparent because vulnerable makes me sound weak because I'm not weak. I'm not. I'm not weak. You're not weak. If I was weak, I would have gone back to drinking. And even then, that's not fair to say. That's not fair to say. No. Strike that. I was wrong. I was wrong saying that. All right. As anger can feel more powerful and acceptable than other emotions, especially in a society that discourages showing sadness or weakness. Now, the thing is the reverse, isn't it? See, people don't give me a hard time for being vulnerable. People don't give me a hard time about that. What they do is tell me how much they appreciate it. I do hear that a lot. Yeah, and I appreciate the fact that you're real, that you're vulnerable, that you talk about these things. But that doesn't make me weak. In fact, it makes me stronger that I can do that. Right? I'm tired of hiding. Well, so, but some of these things we got to do a little bit at a time. We pull down the whole sheet at once, and it will be overwhelming. Right? And this is where therapy comes in. Right? The psychological defense mechanism allows us to avoid confronting painful underlying issues. Are there parts of your life you don't remember? Right? It might be trauma. There are chunks of my life that I don't remember. Now, some of that is from my alcoholism and drinking too much. Some of it is trauma and me hiding it. See, anger lets me tap it down and well, I'll be angry about it and then I'll feel better because then I'll feel stronger. All right. Giving us a sense of control and protection from further emotional harm, though it hinders true emotional healing and resolution. All right. Why anger masks pain? A secondary emotion. Anger is often a secondary emotion. Yes, I would agree with this. That serves as a reaction to a primary emotion like sadness, disappointment, or fear. Sound familiar? Now, why is anger more acceptable than sadness? I don't know. I don't know. But it's wrong. It's wrong. Now, as a man, I'm supposed to be the hunter, the gatherer, the protector. I'm not. How many times you watch a TV show and the dad cries and somebody says, "I've never seen dad cry," and that's the problem. You're not allowed to. See, I can go into a room, I can get angry or raise my voice, and people are like, but if I start crying and show my emotions, everybody will leave. Now they're uncomfortable and they're going to leave because they don't know what to do because they are unhealed themselves. So they don't know what to do. You and I know what to do though. A protective shield. It's protection. Nobody else was protecting me. Okay. There's been very few people in this world that have been loyal and had my back. There's been a lot more within the last 5 years, absolutely, since I've been building my fellowship. But before that, no one protected Dion but Dion. And I had to use my anger, or I wouldn't have gotten very far in life. I had to push people out of the way. It was a survival thing. Social influences. From a young age, people are often socialized to see anger as a more acceptable or masculine emotion than sadness, fear, leading to a tendency to express anger instead. How it works, triggering events. Yeah. So a lot of this is me being triggered by past events. What sets it off? Anything that has a father in it. Anything that has a father in it can be a trigger for me. Yeah. The memes about well, the older child is this and the middle child, that sets me off. That's a trigger. Anything that reminds me of my family. There's a lot of stuff out there. And it's why I had to become responsible for my triggers. Or I would, if I didn't do that, eventually I would end up in jail for putting that man through a wall. Because it's really what I want. I do. I still want it. I got to be honest about it. Am I going to do it? No, he lives in Florida and I don't have the money to get there. I could probably collect enough bail money. And jail doesn't really scare me. Well, I'd rather not go. Yeah. Overwhelming feelings. Experiencing hurt, shame, or sadness. Yeah, that's the thing is, Why do I need to help change their minds about how they feel about me? Now, do I really want them to change their feelings about me, or do I just want them to be wrong? Aha. I want them to be wrong because they were wrong about me. And I need them to know that. I don't know why. Why is it so fucking important to me when I don't even have respect for these people? These are the whys I don't have answers to. Right? Shifting to anger is a defense. The brain quickly shifts to anger. Okay. And confronting the cause by focusing on the anger, the person distracts from the pain and can find the willpower to protect themselves from the situation that caused. Right. So there's consequences, but it says what to do instead. Let's get there because we've been going 40 minutes with a good story. But yeah, we'll have to start wrapping it up. What to do instead? Acknowledge underlying emotions, causes and conditions. Why am I angry? Am I angry because that person did this thing to me? Or am I angry because it reminded me of how I used to be treated by this other person over here? Because it hurts. It fucking hurts. And when my natural reaction is anger. It's my natural reaction. You scare me. Because now why does it piss me off when somebody scares me? Because it makes me feel stupid. And I might punch you. I won't mean to. I also grew up in group homes. Even in my family, I had to watch going around corners. Even in my own house. I didn't know what them bullies was going to fucking walk around the corner. Right? Now, sometimes it makes it even worse because, see, my brother, he had a friend. His name's Bilal. He's Pakistani. Right? And this man, well, maybe not anymore. I don't know. But when he was a kid, this guy was probably the most racist person I knew. And I think he was racist because he was the only Pakistani, and I didn't know any Pakistani. There weren't any other ones. And I think that he did like reverse, and he was also my bully. They would like put street signs in my bed and stuff. They always fucked with my bed, which was my only safe space left. And they took it from me. Later in life, my brother's like, hey, Bilal wants to talk to you. I'm like, why would I talk to Bilal? Why would I talk to him? And he keeps saying it. For the last 4 years, he has brought it up. At first, I was like, he's my bully. He was one of my bullies. These last 2 years, I said, yeah, send me his number. He never does. Because I will chew his fucking ass, and I think my brother has figured that out. All right. Seek professional help. I can't enforce it enough. And I want to hear therapy doesn't work. Therapy, therapy. Now, here's the thing when it comes to alcoholics and therapy. You have to be honest, and you weren't honest before. But now that you can be honest about what is going on, therapy will work. A therapist doesn't see you be like, oh, okay, yeah, I know the problem. I know exactly how to solve it. No, that is not how therapy works. A good therapist is going to let you run your mouth until the answer comes out of it. A therapist will teach you how to solve your own dang problems. My therapist never tells me what to do. Never. I make all the decisions. That's the power of therapy. Amber says it's fight or flight, and fight feels more powerful. It does. I got tired of flight. Right? Right. When I was 15 years old and was big enough that when that man pushed me, I pushed his ass back, and it stopped. Once he saw that I was stronger than him, it ended. Oh, now he can fight back for himself. Oh, shit. Amber says cortisol and adrenaline, if you're not expecting those things and they are uncalled for, it causes frustration. Absolutely, it does. Practice self-reflection. Journaling and mindfulness can help you get in touch with your emotions and understand the root cause of your anger. I've thought about journaling, but more than that, what I want to do is write them both a letter that I may or may not send. I don't know. At the same time, I don't feel like sitting down and giving more of my life to these jerkwads. All right. Now, I know a lot of this may have sounded resentful. I'm sure there might be, clearly there's at least a little bit, but until I work through these other things, that's going to be there. Okay. The difference is my actions. I'm not where before I would go out of my way to continue disrupting their lives. Now I just don't say anything. Right. Now I say nothing. So, and sometimes I wonder, it's like, does that side of the family think that I want to be a part of the family so that Wendell dies, I get a portion of the money? Is that how they think of me? And I do think that they think that because they want the money. I don't give a fuck. No. I accepted long ago that I was never going to be in a position where one of my parents died and I was going to get some kind of inheritance. Now I've been removed from all of that. I don't even get invited for Christmas, so yeah, And my biological father, he died broke, so nothing there. Well, heck, I'm the first of my generation. I don't have the same last name as any of my 8 brothers or sisters. No, I'm the first Miller of my generation. So, all right. Thank you all for listening and being here. I hope you enjoyed it. It was great to have everybody. And I certainly hope this helps, even if it was, okay, I'm not alone in this stuff. Even if it's that. I know I didn't get to too much solution. I'm still kind of working on the solution myself. Okay. But I like tackling hard topics. I really do. Yeah. I'm not a guy to just talk about the weather. So, all right. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And